Okay, so this is a little unfortunate. That was my way of prefacing this video confession, which is that I went a little crazy last night. I went a lot crazy last night, actually. Last night was it was Sunday night, and right around 9 o'clock, I finished my dinner and my calories and macros that were allotted for the day. And I don't know, here comes the excuse. I've just been under a lot of stress, obviously, with, the contest prep and stuff lately, but I have some other things going on in my life that I cannot discuss or post on YouTube for personal reasons. And, work conflicts and things like that, if anybody that I work with were to watch this. In fact, I don't know that I'm actually going to post this until after the competition, again, for personal reasons. But anyway, I've got these low carb, waffle things that I bought on nutrition.com. I bought them when I bought my low carb bread and stuff, and they're little waffle crisp wafers, low carb, supposedly fairly high fat though. And I've also got these little mini waffles that I got with those that are, some are chocolate covered, some are not, some are just plain vanilla or whatever. But again, they claim to be low carb, and I guess they are, comparatively speaking. I think they've got a lot of sugar, alcohol, and that kind of stuff in them. But they're still pretty high fat, and that's not even the tip of the iceberg. So anyway, last night I finished my dinner, and I had some Arctic Zero. I had that sort of allotted for my dessert, and on the way back to the couch, I decided to grab a couple of those little waffle crackers, and I kind of downed those. And while I was sitting on the couch, I thought, yeah, I can have a couple more. It's not going to be the end of the world, and I've earned it and deserved it and been working hard for it. So I ate a few more, and then I ended up eating almost an entire box of them, which was probably 300 or 400 calories, and probably 50 or 60 or maybe 80 grams of carbs, so a lot of carbs. And that was just the beginning. Unfortunately, I decided to take a shower, and while I was in the shower, I thought, you know what? I just don't care. I really don't give a crap. So I told my wife I was going to go out and get an energy drink for this morning, which was true. I was actually going to go out and get one of these Rockstar drinks or whatever that I've seen Nick Wright drinking in his YouTube videos. And I went down to the bodega, and I think I just put myself in the right place for the temptation. So I was at this little bodega, and I didn't have any cash, so I got $100 out of the cash machine, and then I ran across 10th Avenue, and I got 2 big, fat, greasy slices of New York style pizza. I was so happy to walk into the pizza place and look the girl in the eye, and I was like, 1 cheese, 1 pepperoni, and it was just amazing. Every bite was so good. And I didn't really feel guilty while I was doing it. I mean, I guess I did, but I was just so satisfied, and it didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. And this is where it gets really ridiculous. Then I decided to go down to Dunkin' Donuts, which is 15 yards down the sidewalk, and I had a cronut. That's 1 donut, and a Oreo cheesecake donut. That's 2. I bought those, ate those, and then I went back up to the counter. Again, the Dunkin' Donuts guy was my best friend, right? Like a drug dealer. And I was like, 2 more. I wanted a strawberry glazed, and I also got one of the chocolate cake donuts. And I just stuffed myself. I ate and ate and ate until I kind of got to the point where I was obviously overly full. Like I had like this huge distended belly. It was really uncomfortable. But I got to the point where I was like, wow, that's it. I can't do any more. I can't do any more damage. It almost got to the point actually where the food was no longer satisfying. Like I think I was completely fulfilled, and I knew if I kept eating, like it was kind of just like eating nothing at that point, or eating, food that didn't have any taste, I guess, because I was just so full, and I guess my sensations were just completely blitzed or maxed out or whatever. And then I walked home, and I don't know, I didn't feel terrible about it. I felt like I should have. Actually, on the way home, I contemplated puking, which, I'm not going to do. Like, I'm so not going to go there. I know that's like borderline sickness. Like, I'm not going to like start purging and all that kind of crazy ass shit for this contest, And then, I don't know, I didn't tell my wife because I just felt so guilty about it, I guess. Or not even, I didn't feel guilty. I just didn't want to make a big deal out of it. And I felt like telling my wife would have been like this big confession that, I didn't really feel like I needed to make. So anyway, but going to sleep, that I felt so content last night when I got in bed. I was like, I just felt so good. I felt like I could finally fall asleep one night and not just feel awful when I woke up in the morning. That was kind of my thought process. And then I kind of started torturing myself a little bit. I was uncomfortable, obviously, from all the food I'd eaten. But, I started talking to my wife, and I was like, oh, what would you think if I quit this competition? If I just didn't do it, would you, lose respect for me or whatnot, and blah, blah, blah. And, I think she didn't obviously understand where that was coming from. And, I hope I can tell her. I just felt so ashamed telling my wife for some reason. I felt like I could, live with that myself, and I could tell my coach, but I just didn't want to tell her because I just didn't want her to lose respect for me, which is crazy because she's the one person I should be able to, tell. But anyway, I don't know. I just kind of told her, I was like, oh, I'm just, having second thoughts and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I woke up this morning, and this was like the first morning I woke up not feeling like I was going to die. Like, I actually got out of bed with some spring in my step, and I went to the bathroom, obviously. I was kind of uncomfortable from all the food I'd eaten and everything, but I didn't feel terrible. And I weighed myself after I went to the bathroom for the hell of it, and I was like 160.8, and I think this weekend I was like 153 or something like that. I think I still had a lot of the food in me and stuff, so I'm sure that's a factor. And I don't think I actually managed to gain 7 pounds last night. I don't think that's even possible. But anyway, I probably consumed like 3,000 extra calories, probably like twice the amount of carbs I had allotted for the day. So probably 350 grams of extra carbs, probably 100 grams of extra fat, because there was so much fat in all the stuff I was eating. And the sad thing was, as I was going to bed last night, I just kept thinking about all the other stuff I wanted to eat. And I was sitting there wondering if I was going to get up this morning and just want to keep eating. And, I didn't. I woke up this morning. Like I said, I didn't feel guilty. It was actually kind of nice because I was able to like take my dog out for his morning walk, and I just didn't feel irritable. I didn't feel like I was like dragging him around and stuff. I felt, kind of affectionate, and I think he was kind of in tune with that as well. I think he was kind of like completely digging the fact that Dad had finally sort of replenished. So yeah, I just got back from the gym. I went to the gym. I got there around 7 a.m. and I hit chest and tries really hard until 9, so 2 hours, and then I did like 35 minutes on the treadmill, and I think I burned the bike, I think I burned about 500 calories. And I don't know, like I just felt really good working out for a change. Obviously, I guess I restored the glycogen levels in my muscle tissues and everything, and I felt good for a change, and I actually looked in the mirror a few times, and I felt like I had a good pump. I felt like my muscles were full. And, I hope I didn't like just completely screw myself. So I just emailed Jeff and kind of, did the big confession and kind of told him what I'd done. And, I haven't eaten anything this morning yet. I don't feel like I need to. I don't feel like I need any carbs. I think I can hold off until lunch at 1 o'clock, and even then I think I can probably just do like a high protein lunch with a salad and not even really have any carbs. But I hope I can hear back from Jeff, before this evening, because I don't want to put myself in more jeopardy. I don't want to like deprive myself of carbs and fat all day and like put myself in a position where I want to go out and do that again tonight. So anyway, I hope that was it. I said I wasn't going to do it, and it's been like 10 or 11 weeks, and I've been really good. I've never strayed once. I think there was one night where I had like 2 of these little like marshmallow things that I wasn't supposed to have before bed, and that was it. So, I'm not proud of what I did last night. I'm a little ashamed to have to admit it. But I don't know. I don't feel like I've completely destroyed my body. But I know there's kind of a higher plan that Jeff has in mind. So, I hope it's not the kind of situation where like he's been depleting the glycogen levels from my muscle tissues with, the goal of like replenishing right before the show, and that I just sort of replenished early ahead of schedule last night. I hope I didn't kind of screw things up in that sense. But I don't know. I just feel like I've been so drained. And, I think most people are probably training 5-6 days a week, with a day or 2 off. And I've been training consistently every single day. So I don't know if I'm, kind of making some excuses why, I don't feel as guilty about what I did last night. But I don't know. I lost a lot more weight last week than I thought I was going to, which kind of worried me. And, I want to be lean for this competition, but I don't want to be like sickly. And I'm kind of afraid that I was getting into that realm. And again, I don't mean to question Jeff's expertise, even though I guess I kind of am with my actions and this confessional. But anyway, I did what I did, and there's no going back on it now. I don't plan to do it again. And I guess that's a matter of willpower at this point. I guess I just have to, say I'm not going to do it and not do it, stick to my guns there. It's tough though, man. I really thought I was going to have this sort of big moment after the competition where I had my first slice of pizza and everything, and I filmed it and all that. And so unfortunately I didn't, or maybe fortunately I didn't film my big moment last night. But I don't know. I went into this whole thing like it was an experiment. I've never done a bodybuilding competition before. I didn't know how my body would respond to the diet. I didn't know how my brain or how I would personally psychologically respond to the diet. And I guess last night was just another variable. I guess people binge, and that's just something you have to deal with the competitions and stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna stick with it despite my my lost faith last night. I kind of wish I hadn't done it now, but it's easy to say after I've done it. It's like, oh, I wish I hadn't eaten all that amazing food last night that made me feel so good. So anyway, I just felt like I had to film this because I said I was going to really kind of cover every aspect of this from every angle, and even the slip-ups if I had any. And this has been my first big slip-up, and it's been a major slip-up. But anyway, I'm looking forward to hearing back from Jeff. And, before I go, I guess one of the things that I am a little concerned with is the possibility that I have kind of like blown my metabolism, not with what I did last night, but just preparing for this competition. Because I know there are ways that you can sort of safely prepare, and then you're supposed to reverse diet and sort of safely, go back to where you were before and stuff. But to be honest, like, I just don't know if I can go back to where I was before, because before, like, I've always enjoyed food. I will go out and binge on occasion, like if my friends and stuff, if we're going to like a really good restaurant like the Dallas Barbecue, like I'll go crazy and stuff myself silly like every human being will from time to time. But food was never like an oh my god thing for me, I don't think. And now I kind of feel like it is. I kind of feel like food has just become this, like, I dream about it and I obsess about it and I can't stop thinking about it. And, you know, I guess I don't want to come off of this competition and end up being a fatty or end up being one of those guys that struggles to, like, lose weight or keep his weight at a reasonable level. Because I don't know, before I see pictures of myself beforehand when I wasn't trying to cut or anything like that. I've always worked out really hard at the gym, and you know, I feel like my wife and I make reasonable dinners and things like that, and we'll splurge on occasions. So we're not incredibly unhealthy people, and I'm certainly not an incredibly unhealthy person. You know, and I see pictures of myself before the competition, and I feel like I look pretty good. You know, at that point, I probably had like 13 to 15% body fat, but I feel like my muscle mass and stuff is such that it looked pretty good on me. And, you know, I've read that the problem with like fat cells is that like once your body creates them, or once, you know, you've sort of stored fat in these fat cells, that they don't really go away and they become a lot harder to manage. So I guess I'm a little worried about that. Not, like I said, not so much last night. I don't think I can like destroy myself in one evening, or not even one evening, but like literally an hour's worth of eating after having just completely, you know, depleted myself for the last 11 weeks straight. I don't think that's possible. Maybe it is. I don't know. But, you know, I worry about coming off of this competition, because I think the following week, after the OCB competition, my wife and I are going to go on vacation, and, you know, I'm all about reverse dieting, but I have to be honest, I'm going to go crazy on that vacation. I'm going to eat like there's no tomorrow, and I don't know. I mean, maybe this is a turning point in my life where, I don't know, I just become like every other American who's struggling with their weight and stuff. I don't know. It would be sad, you know, to embark on a competition for like elite physical fitness, like a bodybuilding competition, and end up coming out of it with like a food disorder. I mean, I would hate to think that it's that easy to sort of create a food disorder, but I mean, people get addicted to drugs fairly easily, and I mean, to me, I know I've talked about food being like a drug, and it feels like a drug right now. Like last night felt like a drug. Like when I walked into those places, I felt like I was walking up to the dealer. And I was so happy to see the dealer. I was like, give me 2 slices, give me 4 donuts. You know, that's how I felt last night. So, I don't know. I'm curious to hear what Jeff says. Like I said, I'm sure I'll report that and let you guys know when the time comes. But anyway, until then, I'm late for work, so I gotta jump in the shower and head to work. Or, I don't know, maybe I'll forego the shower since I'm already so freaking late. But I guess that's it. I don't know. I still feel like I got some good cuts. I mean, shit. I still feel like I'm pretty lean and mean. I mean, I don't know. I guess if it's the papery skin you're going for and all that stuff, I mean, I've still got about 2 weeks to go, so hopefully I can offset any setbacks that I've imposed. But I guess it is what it is. So this is my video confessional of the great binge.